Alex, look at me, look at me, look at me, Jones presents. Are you tired of looking like a beta? Wish you could command the room with the raw charisma of failure. This is real. Introducing MAGA Mustache Max. Give me the symbol of authoritarian insecurity, but make it patchier. Info Whiskers. You too can have the sex appeal of a moldy sponge. Dictator Duster makes you look like you're about to invade Poland if you can only find it on a map. Freedom Fuzz, the supplement that grows exactly 12 hairs, all in the wrong direction. Listen, folks, listen to me. This isn't facial hair. This is freedom growing out of your upper lip. They don't want you to know this, but George Soros tried to ban this mustache from the global marketplace. That's right, globalists fear the power of this tiny patch of fuzz. Why? Because it channels pure liberty directly into your follicles. Every strand is like a micro antenna beaming patriotism into the atmosphere. Supplies are limited because the deep state is literally stealing these mustaches out of our warehouse. Only $99.99 free trial packet of Info Whiskers beard fertilizer included. Just call 1-800-LIP-FRAUD. That's 1-800-LIP-FRAUD. Supplies are limited because George Soros keeps intercepting our shipments. Warning may cause delusions, hallucinations, uncontrollable sweating, loss of custody, loss of credibility, bankruptcy, paranoia, fascist cosplay, basement broadcasting, forum meltdowns, conspiracy spewing, divorce court, back pain, globalist blaming, random screaming, caffeine shakes, credit score collapse, mounting legal fees, departing fans, fleeing advertisers, tinfoil hat dependency, flag hugging, megaphone misuse, gold coin fixation, gravel voice shouting, spittle production at unsafe levels, cable access energy, overinflated ego, underinflated facts, and in rare cases, irreversible transformation into a sweaty, yelling human meatball. Alex Jones is proof that yelling is not a substitute for intelligence. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Daily. Oh, yes, I made this up. Yes, but no, the mustache is real. Yeah, I'm serious. He did this. This idiot. That's real. He literally grew that and showed up in a brown jacket wearing that ugly thing. That patchy toothbrush stupidity. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Look, I don't throw around I don't throw words around that are derogatory toward women who have an intimate life. This is a daytime show. Got to be careful what I say. But this is an intention whore. I'm sorry. He's this. And you know what? Does he still have it? No. Because he shaved it off later in the day on camera. Brianna says, what the actual, if not 1930s, why 1930s shaped? Yes. Whew, boy. Anyway. That's true, MKLP. Lindell stash is better. Mm-hmm. Charlie Chaplin look in The Great Dictator. This is so pathetic and stupid. So anyway, I just wanted to, and since I will rearrange my entire schedule to make fun of fascists, yeah. Info Whiskers. Dictator Duster. Freedom Fuzz. He's so awful. He's so awful. Hello, everybody. Which background did I decide to use? Let's just use this one. We'll just go back to the kitties, because dear great Gussie, after looking at his face, his ugly face, and he's ugly not because of anything there, but because of what's on the inside. It leaks out like toxic waste. Ugh. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the daily political tarot and astrology here on the Black and Orange channel. I'm here literally every single day of the year to take your political questions out of the chat. Just put your questions in the chat before I come on. We have epic troll slayers who have kept us safe for years. Thank you. And we've got a fantastic community because you have been so kind to each other and so kind to me. Thank you. And you've put up with me. Thank you. If you're watching on replay, hello. You can go down in the description box. All the questions are listed there. I timestamp them as I go, so you can pick and choose what you're interested in, or you can watch back on a higher speed, or whatever works for you. So, okie dokie. No, I'm glad you like the kitties. Reminds me of my Alfie. All right, I need cards. All right. Sarah's elsewhere today. It's her day off, and she's out helping her daughter traveling and stuff. So thank you. Jeez, that was loud. So she sent me that picture this morning, and I just about died laughing. So, oh, Melissa gifted 20 memberships to random people in the chat. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. That is very, very kind. Thank you. Oh. All right. Wow. Charles says, any more funny stuff? Rough crowd. Oh, man. Oh, gosh. All right. Oh, I've got the questions here somewhere. I just have to find them. All right. No. You're supposed to. Oh, okay. So it won't. When I turned that off, it turned the whole thing off. Okay. So I'm having some issues. Thumbs up really do help the channel. Okay, 1 second. And come back here. And okay. All right, that's as good as I can get it. All right, so I have a few questions. Let's do that. So starting at 8 minutes. The world's single most unfortunate fashion choice in the history of ever. Okay, but at 9 minutes in. So Nettie had a question. Will the Comey indictment be appealed and rejected by the high courts because it's ridiculous? So, I've gotten used to the smaller cards. I'm spoiled. Anyway, so look, we're not huge fans of Comey. Let's face it, but he doesn't deserve this. This is stupid. He has a toxic Boy Scout complex, and that's not good. That is really damaging. That he believes he is on some upper plane of goodness above mere mortals, and it's no. So, but Oh, yeah, and what Trump is doing, that's a whole other level of sit down. Whew. So, this Comey thing is so stupid. Yeah, the Amy's pointing out the saying that a grand jury can indict a ham sandwich because it's easy. Well, it's easy because the people who usually bring those bring information to a grand jury are usually, they actually have things like evidence, or at least something worthwhile. And apparently the woman who brought this to a grand jury has been working there for 5 days, and she couldn't get any of the other 100 people to go with her to the grand jury. So this is, yeah. And she looks, if it's the right person, she looks very tall and blonde, and yeah. Thank you, Jane. Yeah, exactly, Mayor. And she has never prosecuted a case before in her entire life. Okay. The president of this United States has been running his mouth on social media in ways that a lawyer can just go, "Oh, Your Honor, yeah. Oh, here you go. Here. Yeah. This is selective prosecution." And the president of the United States is specifically going after my client. And the judge will go, "Oh, yeah, get out of my courtroom." It's all about the Republicans and blah, 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 blah. They had to give him something. The last person who wouldn't bring charges against one of Trump's political enemies, he fired him. Really? Lewis is saying that Ken Chesebro, he's been disbarred. Yes. Remember the case in Atlanta, the RICO case? Anyway, it's, yeah. It just makes Comey look cleaner. That there's this craziness going on. If anybody can redeem any part of James Comey in the eyes of Democrats, it's President Blunderdum just waiting in there. Talk about holding a grudge. 5 years. The statute of limitations of 5 years runs out on Tuesday. So they just brought. It will be Tuesday, or it was last Tuesday. Either way, they brought charges. 5 years. Yeah. Yes, Rob, this indictment isn't even worth using to train a puppy. Mm-hmm. Sheesh. Joyce said, I heard Sieber investigated for 9 months and didn't indict him. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yep. Cookie says, I really miss Biden. I know. I do too. I really miss Obama. Remember when the president was trying to do good things for the American people? foreign leaders, our allies loved him. He took out Osama bin Laden, wasn't afraid to do what needed to be done to keep us safe. Still married to his first wife, 2 beautiful daughters who weren't trying to make money off the system. Yes, a president who could be trusted, TJ. Cat Mom says, no drama Obama sounds great right now. I know, right? Beekeeper Tarot says, remember when the president could speak in sentences? Lewis says, that's a point. Yes, and he has a Nobel Peace Prize. There you go. Melissa says, wasn't a felon. True. True. Anne says, when the president was intelligent and compassionate. Yeah. Those were the days, my friends. Anyway. All right. Comey, blunderdum. Here we are. You will do as I say, or you will be out in the cold. You must make stupid decisions. You must go after my enemies. Absolute corruption, right at the core of this. And there's more. Oh, and Trump has said there's more. He isn't stopping with Comey. No. He says there's more. And there's a criminal. And with the corruption at the center of this, yeah, the criminal, yeah, it's not real criminals. They're criminals. So anyway, Vern says he really is trying to act like a spoiled brat king. 100%. 100%. Feel this is Dumpy called Comey one of the worst people in this country. Am I extremely unhappy with Comey? Yes. Do I think he's one of the worst people in this country? No. Because you know what? I could get trapped in an elevator with him for a few hours, and I know I'd be safe. I can't say that about the president or most of his flunkies. Even the ones who I wouldn't have to be afraid for my person, you'd have to worry that they would save themselves first, no matter what. Anyway. Oh, boy. Okay. Jen says, I'd be safe. I'm a 3rd-degree black belt. I'd love him to try and mess with me. Yeah, there we go. Years ago, there was this great meme. Tell me I saved it. It was, let me just go down here. I can just look in one folder. And if it's here, it's here. Politics. Oh, well, there's some fun ones here. Anyway, but no, it's not here. Anyway, it was Wonder Woman, very tall Wonder Woman, standing with her arm, like if I was going to rest my arm on this microphone, it was like Dumpy's head, and she was like, "Go ahead and grab it. Go ahead and try." Yeah, it was good. So. All right. Yeah, this is really stupid. And which is Wonder Woman is my idol. My sister actually just gave me a plaque that is sitting on top of the on-air sign. And I have an on-air sign at the top of the stairs so people know when I'm live. And it's sitting on top of this plaque that she just got for me out of the blue. It says, if you can't be yourself, be Wonder Woman. So Yeah, this is... He's so pathetic. And his flunkies, anybody who's willing to do his bidding, this idiot who knows nothing about law, and the courts are not going to go for this. They're just not. This is a sort of truth. So there we go. Okay. All right, I've got a couple more questions here, and then I wanted to tell you something that I found really interesting about Hitler's astrology. I don't have graphics. Hitler's astrology versus Trump's astrology. Had a long discussion this morning, and I think you're going to find it really interesting. But we're going to get through a couple more questions first. It's a rumor that Sasha is pregnant, but it would be great if it was. If that's what the deal was. Okay, 21. No, 2115. 2120. Thank you for being here. Going to news with friends. All right, Natalie. Hello from Quebec. Generals and others called back to the U.S. Secretary of Russia cleared that now they're in a real war with NATO and Europe, and Trump making a 360-degree post for Ukraine. What's going on? I don't know that they're necessarily related. I read on the generals, the 800 people in the upper echelons of the military being forced to come to Washington, D.C. Fish 70's asking, their astrologies are remarkably similar. Oh, no. Oh, no, they're not. It's interesting. Anyway, Jean says, I love that you have an on-air sign. It's very useful, so people don't call up for me. Anyway, Jen says, yeah, all of our generals worldwide. Yeah. But I was getting more mass firings, because it's not just them, it's also all of their aides. We're talking about a massive number of people all in one place. Not a good idea, not safe, but is this related to Trump changing his tune on Ukraine? Some people are saying, oh, it's just a pep talk or da. Who do you think you're dealing with? You're dealing with Keg's breath. He's not going to get all those people together to say, good job, everybody. He's likely to say, every woman here, get out. He's likely to say, you will pledge loyalty to the Orange Fuhrer or get out. So, yeah. Amy's asking, how much is this asinine idea costing us? Exactly. A lot. He does not have anything good in mind. It starts with the devil card. 10 of Swords. MAGA waiting for the ship to come in the center. Disappointment and more actions from President Blunderdum and his minions at the order of Blunderdum. They can't actually turn the military into what they want. Not on their own. But they can do a lot of damage. M says they should refuse the order. Hey, you can only refuse an order if it's illegal. So, Kelly says firing the top brass comes with its own dangers. And that's probably why he's pulling everybody into the same place. So they don't have access to weapons. They don't have access to personnel. Spiritual Hack says, I'm not at all certain they are flying in. There is Zoom after all. My understanding is it's bizarre because everyone is required to be there in person. And says refusal could lead to court-martial. Yeah. Yeah, Vanessa, Boy Scout Kumbaya meeting. Great job, everybody. Stars is saying, so one day this will all be better. I do believe, yes. Yes. Honestly. Okie dokie. Now this is about Dumpy. Dumpy and Flunky. Worry, confusion, the idiot, his bludgeon, and refusing to listen to anything proper, right, smart. This is dumb. Yeah. Lou says, can't they lie and work against him in the background? Yes and no. They can the military, if they don't want to do something, it's amazing the red tape. It's amazing the foot dragging on a scale, but again, pulling all of them away from their people. And it's not safe for those people. Although luckily, apparently it's not. Oh, Becca from House of Lenormand is here. Hello. You might want to go back to the beginning. You might get a kick out of that. I made something. So, Grace says, my husband of 23 years, congratulations, is beside himself. Not only is it dangerous and stupid, but illegal. It's awful. It's awful. Yeah. Yeah. Was that? Yes, Old Silver, for entertainment purposes only. And Sharon and Tishy both saying malicious compliance. And MS saying squeak, squeak, squeak. Malicious compliance, yeah. Anyway, okay, so it's not great. I'm not gonna lie, it's not great. So we're going on to Ms. Gibson's question at 28:15. Are the Democrats going to take over the House and the Senate? A CNN poll has shown that people do not trust Democrats. Yes. Are we really going to listen to the polls? Honestly, is that? Have we not learned? Have we? What is it exactly going to take to be like, I don't know why it makes me think of Paula Poundstone. Years ago, she had a comedy. You've probably seen it, the comedy special where she was talking about she had ants in her apartment, but she travels so much. So she was like, what the heck are they eating? And so she followed it in and into the medicine cabinet, opened the mirror, and there was one cough drop. She's like, I guess. I had heard something in the middle of the night. I just didn't know what it was. But she was saying, you'd think that there would have been a meeting, boys or girls, there's no food in there, and many of us have died. She's very talented. All right, the polls. Are we really going to trust the polls? We've trusted the polls before, twice. Very important things. But I will pull some cards. Let's start with the House. So lovely to get the gavel out of Speaker Mikey the Heretic's hands. Truth is on our side. And if we vote blue, vote blue, 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 blue. Now, will the cult be there? Well, of course they'll vote, but this feels like us Democrats getting up and aggressively voting, not in the sense of violence, but in the sense of, oh no, I'm going to be there. I would crawl over broken glass to vote against these people. And this is Republicans weakened. Whereas happy Democratic families, ta-da! But there will still be Republicans there. And of course they'll complain and blow smoke and all of that. So Ms. Gibson says, I will be voting Democrats. Yep. Please make sure you are registered to vote. Yep. Yep. Oh, yeah. Jan. Sorry to make sure I understand. Jan just voted. Thank you for voting. Thank you for voting. Woodpile Witch says, yes, I would crawl on my belly down my gravel road to vote. Yeah. Yeah. If I had to crawl from here to City Hall, I would do it. It's a ways. Yeah, Finesse, I love that. The penguins from Madagascar. I love the penguins from Madagascar. We're going in, boys. Anyway, okay. That was the House. Now the Senate. We're 33 minutes. Senate. Woodpile Witch says 2 miles gravel, 1 mile pavement. Maria says, me too. Yeeps. Wait. Em was saying, oh yes, should we stock up on our meds before the 100% tariffs? Yes, if you can. I mean, if it's a prescription, there's some doctors won't give you excess and for the future. But if you can, yeah. Oh, is it Solica? I'm black in a very red county. I don't think I would be safe to vote. You keep yourself safe. Keep yourself safe. Okay. Senate. Now this is a harder thing just because only a third of the senators go up for re-election at a time, isn't it? Because they're in for 6 years. Yeah, this is going to be an uphill fight, but right in the center, I do have huge numbers of voting, and people wanting less chaos, more care, less grift, all of that. Disappointment and then adding insult to injury. This is what's come in the past. Oh, we're going to go out and vote in big numbers. And there is some strength there. It'd be great if we got hold of both the House and the Senate, because then the emperor would-be emperor would be isolated. Wouldn't it be lovely? Excuse me. Senate. Oh, there's no guarantee. When I say the emperor, I'm not like, oh, he'll definitely be hale and hearty by then. I hope he is. I don't want anything to happen to him. We do not need martyrs. I do not wish violence on anyone. I don't wish death on anyone. But that suspended sentencing thing for the 34 felony convictions, let's do that. Yeah, let's do that. Oh, just a man. Oh. Yeah, we know they're going to try to pull some shenaniganery. They're going to try and bully, but there's the country. There she is. The symbol, for your consideration, the symbol for the country right now is the Statue of Liberty. It's female, and it is about welcoming. Pretty much everything they hate on the other side. 3 of Cups, that's good. King of Swords. We may have to. There's a chance. We really do have a chance, but we may also have to go to court to get the correct things counted, the correct votes counted. So this kid says people should stock up on veggies. Next year there won't be much. The people who plant and pick are gone. So, all right. 1 second. Let me pull this up, and we're at 38 minutes. Oh, so many astrology charts, and I'm not showing you any. Don't worry. Oh, goodness gracious, don't I have any? Where are my news sites? They're like buried. There it is. Okay. Before I get to what I was going to tell you about, I just wanted to mention new document drop names presidential allies, quote, Trump outs Elon Musk as being in the Epstein files. Okay. Do we believe that? Really? Very revealing. Internet erupts as Trump allies named in new Epstein document release. And these were released by the estate. The estate produced another round of documents to Democrats. Let me share. 39. New Epstein documents. And then we'll get to the astrology thing. Astrology of Dumpy and of Adolf Hitler and Adolf Hitler. There we go. Taking me just a second to pull this all together. Okay, so now we're at 40, 20. All right, we can do this. And since this is new, let me take this down and we'll share. There we go. All right, this is on Raw Story. Make sure you can see this. Yes. Okay. Social media users expressed astonishment. What was revealed by the latest batch of documents produced by the Epstein estate gave them the documents to the Democrats on the Committee on Oversight and Government Reform. Phone message logs, copies of flight logs, manifests for aircraft, copies of financial ledgers. The documents suggest Thiel and Bannon had scheduled meetings with Epstein and provided evidence that Musk had a pending trip to Epstein's island. Provided evidence? The documents suggest Thiel and Bannon provided evidence that Musk had a pending trip to Epstein's island. While Prince Andrew was listed, yeah, we know that. And financial disclosures provided possible evidence of payments from Epstein to masseuses on behalf of an individual identified as Andrew. Great. So, Thiel and Bannon had scheduled meeting with Epstein. But don't look at us, don't look at us, don't look at us. All right, so the question is this a thing? Is this really a thing? Or is this let me go back here, and this is where we have the keys. Okay, better energy. All right, so yes, Brianna, scumbags all. Agreed. Whew. So, is this going to be a thing? Hey, Teal. Hey, Bannon. Says you were going to meet with the guy, but you're both going to the Musk. Scumbags all. Yes, Brianna. Whew. Yeah, visualize 70. Is this a thing or just a kitty laser light? Oh, boy. What matters is there's hope. There's hope. There's a lot of material, and it could do a lot of damage. As a matter of fact, there's an argument to be made that Trump freaking out about the Epstein files might not 100%, of course, most everything he cares about is about himself. But, I mean, he is where he is because of his enablers. And if his enablers go down, sitting pretty, merchants, or, yeah, Getting some truth. These poor victims, survivors. Oh, the 90s were a different time in Palm Springs. No, they weren't. It was illegal then. It's illegal now. You scumbag. Temperance, hope. And that's a lot stronger than That idiot. There's a lot. There's a lot. And the more that gets released, if anything, I'm gonna have to like make a graphic, or we're gonna have to work together to be like, okay, there's this jerk and that jerk and that jerk. Okay. And then there's this jerk and that jerk and that jerk. Okay. And then there's this scum of the earth and that scum of the earth, and then that scum of the earth. All right. So that's what we're gonna have to do, because some of this stuff would be the other option is trickles, just little trickles of, oh yeah, there's more released. Oh yeah, there's more released. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? No. We need to care. So yeah, exactly, Tara. That's what I've been saying. Part of me wonders why he's so scared. His followers didn't drop him after all the awful things that he has done. Yes, stuff in there is that bad, and I think he would lose the support. Anyway, if you are interested, here at 4620, I'm going to tell you a little research I did. 4630. Okay. I was so sorry. And yes, I did use AI for part of this, because I was looking at that book I've mentioned before by Grant Louie. And I wanted to really deep dive into what was there. Hang on. All right. Okay. This book. All right. The first edition of this book came out in 1940. So when he wrote the first edition, he was in the thick of it, in the same way that we now are in the thick of all this garbage with Trump. And there's, I think it's chapter 6 or something, he talks about the original man with the ugliest mustache ever. But there are details that are kind of being lost in time. I mean, obviously, there's some people who know all about this, but yeah, some things that you don't necessarily think about. So I went through this whole thing, and I need some tea. Hang on. Okay. Hopefully I'll be able to speak. All right. So, because here's the thing. As awful as Trump is, he's very different from Adolf. He's very different from Adolf. His chart is very different. Adolf's chart is very heavily based on earth signs. And there's also a matter that a number of the authoritarian dictators we think about, like Adolf, Mussolini, all those kind of people, they had specific things going on in their charts, like Mars square Saturn and, all this other stuff. When he originally wrote this, he didn't talk a whole lot about Pluto because it had been discovered. But when any planet is discovered, it takes a while for everyone to work out exactly what it means, how it affects people. And it's easy for us these days to be like, oh yeah, that means that. But, they hadn't even known about it for that long. So, okay. Anyway. Make sure I've got this. Here we go. Let me scroll back. All right, so I went through all of that. Here we go. Yeah, it's chapter 6, Strong Men of Destiny. Hitler, Mussolini, Stalin, Napoleon, and Kaiser Wilhelm. We never talk about Kaiser. Oh, poor Wilhelm. We never talk about him anymore. Bye-bye. Bye-bye now. Goodbye. As you disappear into the mists of history forever. Bye-bye. Anyway, nice hat. Not really. Anyway. So I went through this whole thing, and let me get down to where we were talking about the specifics, and forgive me that I do not have this ready. It really went through that it seems like Hitler actually did at least time some of the things he did via astrology, at least some of them. Waiting until noon or odd times to do things, putting things off, and it's only later that he started not. He started not following the astrology, and guess what happened? If you want to be in a position of power, get an astrologer or learn it yourself. Page 39, no, it's past that. Summary. So this guy talks about the idea of Saturn, where as it moves, because Saturn not only forms things, but it's very cold. The energy of Saturn is very much fences and cold, things forming. If you want to make something real, you want Saturn. Hard work that pays off at Saturn. He is the party pooper. He is the wet blanket. But you need that sometimes. And hang on. Sorry, hang on. All right. Louis also argues that dictators they tend to have more fixed, these dictators anyway, had more fixed charts. So each of the middle signs in each quadrant of the basic astrology chart. So each quadrant has 3 signs. Here, these are the last 3. It's the one in the middle that is fixed energy. You can think of it as when you go into the quadrant, we're going in, it's cardinal, it's taking charge, it's moving forward, they're initiating. And then you get into the middle of the quadrant and it's like, no, it's my quadrant and I'm here and I'm not moving. And then the last sign in the quadrant is like, well, hey, we're going into a new quadrant. I need to be a little more loosey-goosey. All right, so cardinal, fixed, and mutable. Now, he's arguing that a lot of these old dictators, they had very fixed charts. There were a lot of things in these 4 fixed signs. And it was, at the time, it was the people in the Allies who had more mutable energy. But in this case, the big difference between Hitler and Trump is Hitler's chart had a lot of fixed stuff, a lot of fixed energy, and Trump's has a lot of mutable energy, but not in a good way, the way that Allied leaders had more of. It's not 100%, but pull this back up. If there was something horrible in the chat and a cat mom is saying to remove it, then I'm going to guess remove it. Anyway, Okay. So, wait. Yes, and it says Louis insists dictators are not creators, only destroyers, because their charts are warped by Mars, Saturn, and eighth house compulsions. They may rise high, but astrology ensures they collapse. So, if I go down here, by the way, the other thing Hitler did a lot of is he was often threatening to unalive himself if something didn't happen. We will win here, or I will take, if this coup fails, I will take my own life. Or at the Polish front, he wore his old uniform and vowed, I'll take it off only in victory or death, blah, da, da, blah, da, da, blah. Does that sound like Trump? No. And down to okay. Hitler's astrology was wired for extremes. That Mars Saturn, a constant tension between power, fixed sign rigidity. Eighth house energy can be self-destructive. All or nothing, very all or nothing. By contrast, our current President Blunderdum is appalling, but in a different register. His chart is loaded with Gemini energy, the trickster, salesman, eternal adolescent, and Mars rising in Leo on his ascendant. Produces chaos, narcissism, and cruelty. Now, these are the low ends of these signs. Not everybody who has these aspects is doomed. But it's not the same kind of fatal, locked-in world war, summoning destiny energy. It really isn't. Trump doesn't have that. While Hitler kept threatening to end it all in fire, Trump's chart suggests someone who never intends to leave the stage. Always looking for the next spotlight and the next grift. Whereas Hitler was fate-ridden destroyer, his chart bent toward collapse and death. Whereas Trumpster Fire is a con man with a chart that thrives on noise, division, and endless drama, but lacks the same Saturn-fueled gravitas of doom. Doesn't mean he's harmless. It means his astrology is tuned for a different kind of damage. Instead of a one-man world war, he's more like a permanent circus fire, polluting institutions and destabilizing democracies from within. Trump is scattered, mercurial, endlessly improvising, and lives on chaos. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, that's right. Trump's brought back Trump vodka. Okay. We know that Trump has his sun conjunct Uranus, the planet of chaos. And we know he thrives. He's erratic, rebellious, thrives on chaos, loves breaking norms. He's not good at building empires. He's just not. Emotional volatility, exaggerated highs and lows with his sun and moon opposite. And since Jupiter is in Libra near Neptune, inflated sense of self, delusions of grandeur. His war is against truth, not tanks. So, what they have in common is far right. They both headed these far right cults. And by the way, I'm paraphrasing, so some of this is me and some of this is during this discussion and throwing in more chart information. I'm giving you the highlights. Hitler's cult was apocalyptic, rigid, fate-driven, marching lockstep toward war and annihilation. Trump's cult is chaotic. It's about grievance, spectacle, and drama. He doesn't march them toward a single final battle the way Hitler did. He keeps them hooked through lies, rallies, conspiracies, and culture wars. Still toxic and destabilizing, but different flavors of danger. So, hang on. If I was trying to use some of this stuff in this book, the way he was doing astrology to like look at Trump's chart. Trump's chart shows a man whose power is fueled by projection and crisis. He thrives on when the planets stir confusion, uncertainty, and emotional disturbance. Yet the same transits that elevate him will also unravel him. When Saturn squares his sun or midheaven, he faces a test of sustaining, not just ascending. And this is the key. This is the absolute key to this whole thing. Unlike the doomed rigidity of Hitler, Trump's danger lies in erosion, betrayal, bewilderment, loss of momentum. He weakens foundations. So, he's got, that whole ascendant, his Leo ascendant. He's the performer, the king, theatrical emotional life, you think? And as far as his vulnerabilities, because this is the last part. About his, apparently, it's that Venus-Saturn conjunction in the 12th. I mean, in Cancer. I mean, we knew that. We knew that his. No, that's not it. We knew that Saturn. Okay, Venus is what you love and how you love, like how you show it, and dumpster fire. His that Venus, that lovely Venus, is actually in the same place as the Saturn in his chart, which is why everything's transactional with him. Instead of this lovely, nurturing Venus in Cancer, how can I help? And, coziness. No, you've got Saturn right there. It's just very cold. And of course, he always goes for the lowest version of the lowest version of everything. So yeah, because Trump's ascendant is so late in Leo, his 12th house, is where his communication is, and also that Venus-Saturn conjunction. So, Venus-Saturn conjunction in the 12th, isolation, loyalty tests, secret burdens. This is the chart's quiet undertow, because the 12th house is institutions and what is hidden. His Mercury square Neptune causes messaging drift, misstatements. Great for myth making, terrible for depositions. And he is, so when's the next time that there could be a real undermining of Trump? Okay, what it takes for real accountability is we need to treat him as a country. We need to be a parent. We need him to face consequences. Not in a vindictive way, but no, you did wrong. You need to face consequences. You have 34 felony convictions. You need to go to prison. not in an overblown, they always try to blame us and say that we're too emotional and we're all of this and that. And no. Yes, and he needs to pay the money he owes to E. Jean Carroll, and he needs to be held accountable. A sentence that actually bites. Probation terms with teeth. Financial penalties that liquidate assets. The elite who support him are not going to defect until there's a credible successor who can deliver wins without chaos, or repeated electoral losses that donors attribute to him personally. Let's make sure he loses. Let's make sure they all lose. Legal exposure that threatens the people supporting him, or the radio podcast ecosystem to fracture. So the next time, we want to keep our eyes out for November 28th. I know it's a ways off, but November 28th. Just hold on. Trying to get down to it. Oh, and with the Epstein files, Trump's chart right now is like a fog machine that's running out of fluid. So let me go down to November 28th, and then I'll be done. It took a while to be like, no, we're focused. You know how it is. All right, it's when Saturn is going to station. Saturn is going to station direct at 25 degrees of Pisces on November 28th. In Trump's chart, that's in his 8th house of shared resources, debts, taxes, fines, legal and financial entanglements. But let's face it, the 8th house is taboo matters and intimate matters. And Saturn brings accountability. Saturn has the receipts. It will also be forming an inconjunct to his natal Mars. Stations are heavy moments. Saturn slows, stops, and pivots. That's when accountability becomes unavoidable. Financial legal pressure could intensify. His bluster hitting a wall. His loyalists may try to soften the blow, but his delays may run out. So that's what we're waiting for, the next big thing. Obviously, things could happen before then. It's not all straightforward, but it'll be interesting to see what happens on November 28th, because it could be that stuff comes out before then, but then everything coalesces right after Thanksgiving here in the US. So, all right. Sorry for the delays, but I wanted you to know that, because I know there are a lot of people who say that Trump is like Hitler. He has a cult of personality. He is incredibly destructive, but it's different. And Trump is not the kind of person, he doesn't have the kind of chart that would get us into a big world war. He's too scattered. But he undermines. He's undermining foundations. And we can fix that. All right. That will do it for me for today. I went late. Oh, thank you. Thank you. All right. That'll do it for today. But it is 1:22 p.m. here in Chicago. I ran late. And at 3 o'clock, I'll be over on the Creative Sprints channel to encourage you to work on whatever projects you want to work on. The link to that is in the description. Other than that, I'll be right back here tomorrow. All right. So please remember, you're not alone. We're in this together. There are good days ahead. All right. And there's always time for making fun of fascists. So yeah, do share the beginning with friends. All right. And I'll see you later, as always. All right. Okay. Bye.